Hi Chris, talking tonight after a 2-1 victory over Bromsgrove in the penultimate home game of the season. Much improved second half.
Yeah, I think so. I think full credit to Bromsgrove because they play a very distinct pattern and style, and they're really good at it. So we worked on them on Thursday about trying to force them to play forward and shutting off their opportunities to redevelop their build and make sure that we were sort of man dominant in. We spoke about making the wings like 5v3s or 5v4s and just trying to make sure that we stifled opportunity from them. I thought we done really well. I thought the start was excellent, front footed. We were calm on the ball. We were moving it, and then I think for 25 minutes after that, we just took the easy option, Neil, and just decided just to kick the football. So like no real thought. We weren't getting it from keeper. We were taking an age from set plays, from restarts and stuff. So I just think that everything, and I thought it was a 0-0 half. Obviously the two boys have had a bit of a miscommunication and they've nicked in and scored. I sort of said to them that was the third time that two of the boys have gone up for to compete a jump in one half, which needs to eradicate. But I thought second half it was pretty much one way.
Yeah, I think so.
They had a few breaks and whatnot, but I didn't feel like they were ever in sort of trouble.
Other than a couple of crosses, I don't recall Tommy making a save really.
No, and I think that's been the pattern of play for the last few games. To be honest, I think keepers have been quite quiet. Regardless, I think Tommy. I don't think Jamie dived once last week, sort of thing. So we know that we're hard to score against. And I think it's just a case of we've been having a bit of a tough time, but they've done well today. Two of the tidiest finishes you'll ever see there. I think they'll probably have to have a little competition between who's bobbled in more than the other one.
From out and out strikers.
Yeah, but it's nice that a right back in the centre midfield has got on the pitch. We spoke to Beckett and sort of said he needs to probably start adding goals. So he hasn't connected true with it. He's ended up in the net, but it's where he is, which is the important part that we need to add into his game because he's hell of a player, isn't he? So yeah, really strong. Like I say, full credit to Bromsgrove and how they try and play football. It's going to be hard on a rock hard surface, but
yeah.
we did have to consider how they play in how we defended, and we didn't get that 100% right in terms of creating opportunity, but the boys were good.
So final 3 games of the season, going to have a, whether we like it or not, we're going to have a big say in at the top and the bottom. Kettering and Telford away, obviously, at the top end, and St Ives at the bottom end. So no time to take the foot off the pedal?
No, I don't think so. I think I think it's always the case, especially with this group of players. I think that no one's going to really want to play us now. Like, I don't think we're an easy team to play against at all, especially we've got it right the last 2 games. So Kettering will be an interesting one. It's going to be a nice experience for the boys to go there and have a crowd. I don't know how they did today, but they've obviously gone in for playoffs and maybe a bit frustrated that the league isn't sort of sewn up and it was in their hands, I guess. So I can't believe how tight it is at the bottom.
Oh, it's amazingly tight.
I think there is 2-3 points between.
I think there's 1 point separating the last relegation place and about 6 teams above them.
Yeah, I'm glad we're out of it. I think that's probably the nice thing. And I spoke to a reporter in the week, and he's quoted me as saying I'm happy with mid-table, which I'm a bit disappointed about. That isn't what was said. I think we have to be happy if we finish mid-table and see it as success because of the size of the clubs. I want to win every single game. Every player. So to have it in big letters that I'm happy with mid-table probably is a bit of a misquote, but we're out of it. We're comfortably out of it, and I think St Ives have won today, haven't they? So that'll be an interesting one. They're obviously one of the few locals that we've got, so it'd be nice to have them in the league, and it'd be nice for them to be sorted next Saturday before they come here. Because I don't really want to influence that too much. They're good guys over there. But yeah, the Kettering one is going to be great, and the Telford one's going to be great as well. So we had to endure watching Needham win the league last year.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do that again 2 years in a row, but we are where we are, aren't we? We're going to be mid-table now, and I think, like I say, pat on the back. I think that's still a positive finish, although not ideal. But it's 3 points. We need 3 points to hit my target.
Yep.
I'd love to get over 60. I think that's a real good step that we've made from where we went. Sort of took over last year. I thought last year was a fine finish of 10th. If we can be points richer this year, then it'd be great. And
so we're looking at points rather than position.
yeah, I think so. I think we can't dictate that. I think if you end up on 58 points in a tougher league, when we only have 57 in an easier league, then and we finish 11th, then we've done better than we have last year. Just the league tables maybe a bit more difficult. So. And I think the boys are on for a little bit of a bonus if they get 60 points. So I know that they're going to want to take that away with them on
Got to pay for that IB for trip somehow.
Pay for that IB for trip. So yeah, there's no foot off the gas, and I think even if you can finish the season strongly, it puts you in a good position for next season. So I said it a lot to you, Neil. Like, it's a really good group. I think it's a group that we can be proud of, and I think their endeavour today to take a little bit of a bollocking at half time, hold their hands up and then come out and dictate the second half, I felt that deserves some credit.
And a return to the starting lineup for Tommy.
Yeah, no fractured hips from diving this time. So yeah, I mean it's nice to bring that. He's a hell of a keeper, isn't he? So it's good for him to get back, and I think I was going to change it around and go with maybe more dominant. Not dominant, more attacking wing backs, full-backs, but I felt that considering it was his first game back, we should protect him as much as possible. But I thought he was assured in everything he did, really. It's probably a nice game in terms of how busy he's been.
Yeah.
It's a nice game for him to return to. So Jamie's been excellent in his place, and we're fortunate that we've got sort of a good group of goalkeepers here, and yeah, I'm sure I know he's happy to be back playing, so we can build on that for the rest of the year.
All right, so on to Kettering next week. Just more of the same?
On to Kettering next week, yeah. Like, let's try and have a say. And I don't have any horse in the race, to be honest. I think that there's a few involved in and around it that managers-wise I get on really well with, and so it's hard to have one favourite over the other. Get on well with Jimmy. I don't at Spalding. I get on well with Gray at Stanford. Birchie at Bedford, and Russ helps me out with the other bits and pieces as well. So like, there's no real favourites in it. I think it's from a local one.
But we're more concerned with us than anyone else.
Yeah, if we can take points, it's good for the fact that it adds to our points rather than doing anyone a favour. So yeah, out of all of it, it's just I don't really want St Ives to go down. So. Hopefully, like I say, I don't want to add to that next week, and I think we've only lost 3 at home this year now. So
yeah.
We've obviously turned it into a tough place to come, and hopefully that continues throughout the rest of the season, because I don't want to add a 4th defeat onto that stat.
Nice one.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
Chris.
Thank you.
Right.